Welcome to Dayton Hamvention 2015, which was held May 15th to the 17th. This year's theme, Homebrew Radio, the flea market. To put things into perspective, the flea market covers about 2.5 times the size of the Hare Arena. Shown in blue here, you get a general understanding of how large it actually is. So what's going on in the flea market? Let's take a look. There's so much going on that I can't possibly show you everything. So let's take a run around the flea market. One of the first stops has to be Mendelssohns. Mendelssohns is a very large liquidator. Mendelssohn has about every kind of piece of parts you can possibly think of. Just look at the wide variety of switches that they have. There are some switches here that go back to the 50s. Single pole, single throw, double pole, double throw, and I even found an 8-pole, 16-throw switch. Now there's the switch you hand to the new guy in the shop, and you tell him, can you just wire this up real quick for me? They also have quite a few discontinued RF adapters, bare lead to BNC, all the way up to N adapters, as well as the N connector to PL259 adapter, as well as Gordo's wall warts. You can never have enough wall warts, can you? You just need another spare. And you always need a couple extra connectors. There's connectors here I haven't seen in years. So we head out of Mendelssohn's and see what else is available in the flea market. There's a lot of old gear out here, as well as some not so old gear. And speaking of old gear, take a look at this. A Collins 2.5 kW AM transmitter in beautiful shape, as well as a beautifully restored Collins S-Line rack-mounted transceiver with the top exposed. It doesn't get any better than this. So let's see what else we can find. There has to be something in this flea market that we didn't need before, but now we can't do without. Tubes, more tubes. Let's see if they got any 6L6s. They're like wall warts. You can't have just one. And maybe they got a 7591. I'm kind of in need of that one. We got to purchase 2 or 3. So we got our stuff from Mendelssohn's, and we got a few tubes. And it's only noon on Friday. What else can we find? Then we come across this little jewel. The mother lode of all bird meters. There's just about every bird meter you can possibly think of, including but not limited to the watt meter, and every possible slug you'd ever want. Most of these units are either repaired or refurbished. There has to be some more that we can find. If you can't find it at the Dayton Flea Market, it's just not available. Found some nice bugs. And they work pretty good. Let's see what else we need from the flea market. A new antenna? That might be a good idea. Can't have too many of those. Okay, this guy had lots of stuff. From nut driver sets, needle nose pliers, wire brushes, dental picks, X-Lite mini screwdrivers for only $3, as well as a soldering person's dream. Toggle bolts, crimp connectors, different types of solder wick, pin connectors, the list goes on, as well as forceps, and the big one, solder. And these deals were just too good to pass up. Solder in every size imaginable, all the way from .062, which I prefer, to the big stuff, 1/8 inch rosin core solder for putting on those elusive PL259s. So those tools got me thinking, do I need any new test equipment? Let's take a look. So they got some oscilloscopes here, a couple of bench voltmeters, a couple of power supplies, got pretty good current on the power supplies, and a couple of frequency counters. Now to run this out, we're looking to find something else that's just cool to end the day. Now this, in my mind, is cool. It's a beautifully restored RCA broadcast console. I used one similar to this years ago. It looks to be mid-60s, early 70s vintage. The one that I worked on wasn't near as pristine, and this particular one was being auctioned off to some lucky bidder. I'm sure it's destined for a very good ham shack. Well, that's a summary of the Dayton Hamvention-Flea Market. You can't possibly catch everything in the 3 days of the convention. 7 3s from N9 LVS.